It's been a good while since I had some free time to do a bit of upcycling and getting creative, so I headed under the bed because you know that's where I keep some things that need to be upcycled and some secondhand thrifted treasures. I got a beautiful mirror off my good friend Joanne, and I've had it for probably the past 2 years. And I got struck with some inspiration. I saw a beautiful mirror that someone had hand painted with flowers online. So I decided to do a cheat version of it. I want to just tidy up and refresh my teeny tiny hallway. And I'm going to begin with this beautiful mirror that I have that's secondhand, and I want to give it a bit of life. My inspiration for this old mirror is from hand painted floral windows. Saw this on Pinterest. I stumbled across something on Instagram as well. However, my hand painting skills of flowers are not to par, so I will be sharing a little trick to making it look pretty, getting the effect, but we're not going to be doing any hand painted flowers. So this mirror is in really good condition. There is no tags on the back. There's no labels or indications where it has come from. It has kind of a plasticky veneer. A lot of that molding is plastic, and I don't think it's of value because I don't think Joanne would have given it to me if it was of value. It just needs a good clean. I started cleaning with my water and vinegar solution, but because it has been under the bed and there's a good bit of old dust and grime, I whipped out the crud cutter because I find that's much better at cutting through grease. I am going to be painting this frame because I'm going for like a earthy forest cottage theme for this project. Both Bjorg and Bon absolutely love when I am getting busy in the kitchen with a little project. And later on, you will see Bon testing my patience whilst walking on this with wet paint. And he doesn't get a drop on his paws, but he does it to just stress me out. Now, let's have a look in the paint stash and see what colours that I have. I am going for a green colour, so I'm hoping that I have enough to do this mirror. I hate when I have to buy a new tin of paint. I try to use what I have, and actually, as a result, you end up having matching colours in the house. So if I use some leftover green paint, chances are there will be a couple of other things in this house painted in the same shade of green paint. So things match purely because I'm too cheap and too lazy to go to the paint shop to pick up more. Now, the initial colour that you're going to see me put on is very sagey. Now, the texture, it is a chalk paint. I generally dislike chalk paint, especially when it comes to furniture pieces. It's an absolute messy nightmare to remove. I do think chalk paint is good for smaller projects, so the likes of mirrors and frames. If you're doing any like little decoupage projects, if you're painting anything small, wooden boxes, things like that, I think chalk paint is good for smaller projects. So that is what I'm going to be using. However, you will see that I did go in the end for a darker colour. I also wanted to have a bit of texture to the paint, so I'm using this chunky bristle brush that is a little bit dry, chunky brush to layer on the paint and get the bristled effect. Now, last night before I went to bed, I decided to change my mind with the colour because the colour that I originally put on was too light green. It was quite sagey and light. It still would have been nice, but I have these furniture transfers, these flowery ones, and I want to go for like a naturey theme. So this is the colour of the mirror. I'm probably going to give it one more coat because there's just a few. See, I went for like foresty green. Yeah, I'm gonna give it, I actually have to go get my car, the wheels balanced, and my poor brother, my car is really old, and we have this thing in Ireland, in NCT, so you have to get your car checked once a year, but mine had it the other day and it was full of rust. So my poor Volkswagen Beetle, but the problem is you can't buy them cars anymore, they don't make them anymore. And with the government trying to make everyone go electric, I feel like they're being harsh on the old cars. And I'm like, Surely the most economical car there is one that's already on the road. Anyway, I'm going to give this a quick coat, and then hopefully when I come back it'll be dry. And then I have these furniture transfers. I have used these before. I've used them on 2 projects. I used them on a piece of furniture, and I have them on the IKEA units in the greenhouse. And I just thought this is a great way to get the floral effect without having to, I'll put this up to the screen, I'll get a close up, without having to do lots of painting. So I'm kind of cheating. And that's why I changed the colour of the green to a more foresty, darker green colour, because I feel like it would pick up on the petal. Yeah. So I'm also going to wax the paint as well, because you can get a lovely, I feel like you get a lovely effect when you wax, especially like something with a mirror. So I have some white wax that might pick up some of the detail. I could do gold as well, actually. Gold would be quite nice. A gold gilding wax. I don't know if I have one now. But I changed my mind on the colour before I went to bed is what I was trying to say. While I was off running some errands in town, I actually stumbled across the cutest little home/garden shop. They mainly had interior plants, they had indoor plants, which I'm not a massive fan of just because I cannot keep them alive. However, I got a little bit of footage of this shop because it's not often that I'm in the city. Generally, if I'm in the city, it's for a meeting, it's work related. Me and my friends tend to socialise more locally. But while I was in town, I decided to have a little bit of a potter because I've noticed this summer that a lot of you guys have been visiting Ireland and Dublin and have been asking me for recommendations, and I am the worst person to ask because generally I'm all about the business and my task at hand when I'm in the city. However, I'm going to be a bit more mindful and try and visit a couple of places. But if I see something cute while I'm out and about, I'll whip out the phone, get a little bit of footage, and I shall share with you. If you are coming to Dublin, I highly recommend the Instagram page. I think she has a TikTok, but I don't have TikTok. Sarah is her name, and her Instagram handle is at I come undone, and she does amazing Dublin guides. She will share like what free events are happening that weekend, unique things to do, pet friendly things for single people, things for couples. She's like really inclusive and finds the best things to do. So if you ask me for advice, I will tell you to go and look at her Instagram page because she's always updating it. And generally I don't treat Dublin like a tourist, but I will get better. Now, I actually had some time to kill, and I do have a fun recommendation that you may not have thought of if you do come to Dublin. Now, any travel bloggers out there, don't worry, your job is safe. I will not be turning to travel content for Dublin, but on this day, I had a couple of hours to kill. I had a meeting in the morning, and my friend met me at lunchtime. And we went to the National Concert Hall, and I was like, this is a fun thing to do and something I'd love to do if I was traveling in another city, and I would never think to do it. So there was lunchtime concerts on in the National Concert Hall with the RTE Orchestra. And my friend is like, she's into music, she's a choir singer, she can read music, and she was the person to ask, and she just happened to be off work that day. So while I was killing time, I went into the museum that is just around the corner from this cute shop. So you've got the National Gallery of Ireland, which is free, and there's actually some really good pieces in it. Now, I have a guilty pleasure at the minute, something that has been keeping me quite calm, and especially at night time when I can't sleep, is I watch this YouTube channel, and it's called Baumgartner Fine Art Restorations. Now, his page or his channel is absolutely huge. You guys probably watch him already, but he just cleans and conservates, is that the word? Conserves paintings, and it is the most relaxing thing for me. I find that a lot of the times I'm asleep by the end of the video. And when I was in the gallery, the National Gallery, I was looking at some of the paintings and I was like, these are looking a bit grubby. I think they need to have a little cleaning from Baumgartner Fine Art Restorations. I did share some footage of this gallery in a video that I think was around about either December or January time. I was after being in Trinity College and they had that giant globe installation. I'm not sure if that is still there. You could check out their website. But I find with the art museums, there's so much to kind of take in. If you go to the portrait gallery, there's also some beautiful new paintings there as well. Or should I say new acquisitions. See, I know my art stuff. I don't really. I just love that it's freeing, and if you have a half an hour or an hour to kill, I don't like killing time, but if you're just looking for somewhere to have a little potter, there's also another museum. If you walk out further up, we call it the Dead Museum, and it is full of stuffed animals. And again, it's not too far from the concert hall, and my friend was getting off the bus around the corner, so I was trying to kill some time in this area. So yeah, I went into the Dead Museum as well. I have not been there since a kid, since I had a school tour. So if you're looking for a random thing to do in Dublin that is a little bit different, have a little look on the website for the National Concert Hall, because I didn't realise that sometimes they have lunchtime shows on. They actually have some morning things on for kids as well. So if you're into that kind of music, you could check that out. I find it quite relaxing to listen to. And I remember a couple of years ago when I was in the RTÉ radio studio for Claire Byrne, the concert orchestra, the RTÉ orchestra were practicing, and I could hear them practice, and I just remember getting goosebumps when I heard like instruments live in person. It's one thing hearing it on the radio, but when it's like you can feel the sound, and I just find listening to that at the moment for me is just really relaxing. And now we are back to the project. I'm just putting in a fresh blade into the scraper. I noticed that there was some paint droplets on the mirror before I began. So my friend Joanne, we have a vlog from years and years ago where I visited her paint studio in Clonmel. I think has to be about 7 or 8 years ago at this stage. And she's the lady who had a book out last year. I did a giveaway last year for it, and it has stunning upcycled paint projects. So if you're into something a bit different, she's got loads of different techniques and design ideas for paint and furniture. But anyway, that would explain why there's a few paint splotches on the front of it. So I am just using a sharp scraper just to lift off all of that paint before I clean the glass and apply these. They're like furniture decals, but you can use them on glass, wood, brick. So it says on the packaging. I have only ever used this before on wood. I haven't used them on glass. So let's see how we get on. Now I must give you a little disclaimer, because these are going to look like they're easy to apply in the video. However, you will see that I am proper given some elbow grease with that scraper. Once I have chosen which flowers I'm going to go for, you will see my design as it pans out. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I've picked my favourite and I'm going to just see how they look at the bottom of the mirror. These are a kind of like, well, no, not really. They're kind of like what you'd make on your Cricut machine, except you can't get this printed effect unless you use the print on iron-on material that you print onto it. So you would have to have a design on your computer that you can print off. However, it has to be ironed on. The adhesive is heat activated. If you have seen me use my Cricut machine and put vinyl on things, it's much easier to stick vinyl on. These are a little bit more delicate I don't remember them being this hard to put on wood. However, it could be just because I'm sticking them on a mirrored shiny surface. I found that I had to put in a lot of elbow grease just to get them to come off that plastic film and adhere to the glass. Now, once they adhered, they were on there. But just know I'm giving a welly in my arm to get them to scrape off onto the surface. So, I think I am going to put the new foresty mirror up here. So behind me I have this circle mirror. It's from IKEA. I do like it, but when I did this painted IKEA, what's this called? Shoe storage unit. I can't think of the IKEA name. But when I did this little nook, the amount of comments on the video saying the mirror is too high. First of all, I'm really short. And yeah, maybe it is too high. Yeah, I can't see myself in it. I can see the top of my head. So I think I'm going to... I do like this mirror though because it's the width of the thing. But I'm going to take it down and we'll see what the green one looks like up here. I have some dried flowers. I have lots of random stuff. I need to tidy this up anyway. I have little perfume bottles. I use them as I'm going out the door. So Yeah, let's see if we can fix this. Also, poor bunny rabbit. Bug and Bond, the two of them. I left a package here. They jumped up on the box and they jumped up and they decided to behead this bunny rabbit. They took its ears off. Rascals! I see you. I see you. So I need to... I think they'll be okay if I glue them back together. So I need to glue the ears on this little bunny. I think he's a cute little autumnal decor piece, but they didn't seem to think so. So, okay, let's refresh this area.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car.
You will be pleased to know that I can actually look in the mirror. Well, the flowers are blocking it, but this isn't the mirror I check myself before I leave. I do that in the kitchen. Actually, half the time I don't even look at myself before I go out, if I'm being honest. I just put my little spray on. Yeah, and out the door. I have random things in here, like a packet of seeds. Of course I do. I have like my gas box opener thing, ring doorbell thing, bit of rescue remedy, more bottles of perfume. That's a basket of randomness, which is why it's there, just to hide the randomness. I should actually sew those nasturtiums. But yeah, if I go on my tippy toes, I can even take a little selfie. So it is a much better height. I do agree that that round mirror was too high. But like I said in the original video, all my boyfriends be 6 foot plus, my imaginary boyfriends. One thing I wanted to say is with these like furniture transfers, glass and mirror was one of the materials that I said it would go on. They're very delicate, and it does say on the instructions to seal them with a wax or a varnish. Bon is singing. However, I didn't want to put a varnish over the glass, for it will distort the rest of it. So I cleaned it down with my water vinegar solution, but you would have to be careful. Like, you'd have to use the lightest part, like a dusting. So I did wipe them and clean them to see obviously how kind of sturdy they are, but they will lift off if you were to I don't know, use too much elbow grease. Now they're only on, so unless the adhesive sets on them, it does say when you're removing them, if you want to remove them, you can apply some heat. And I think that's why I like this, because it is reversible. We do like a project that's reversible. So whether you've painted something, you can strip it. Whereas if this was done in like acrylic and it was all fancy, well, it's still removable. You could just get your blade and scrape it off. And the same thing with these. So They are really pretty though. I really love that one in the centre. Very pretty. I am now off to have a look under the bed to see what other random things I have picked up along my travels are that I can upcycle them. I'm off. I'm very proud of that, actually. Anyway, if you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Check out my recent videos if you like what you see. Welcome to our community. And for my regular viewers, you know the drill. Good old cheeky thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.
Day to day, it's a good